We're sick and tired of seeing people getting ripped off by agencies, and we're stopping it in this video today.
Disclaimer, not all agencies are bad. There are some really good ones, and we're not talking about any agency in particular, just in general terms, right?
Yep, let's do it.
So firstly, what tips do we have for a brand or a business that wants to work with an agency that's going to deliver on their expectations?
Great question, Lloyd.
Thank you. I said it myself.
So I'd say the first big thing is evidence. Looking for evidence of the results they've delivered for other companies, and even better, other similar companies to you. And you really want to be delving into getting as much data and evidence as possible, because anyone can say they do a great job, but you really want to be, when you're provided that evidence, ask probing questions to...
Yeah, and I would say there's no reason why businesses shouldn't be providing evidence. It's so easy. If you're genuinely doing good work with a client and you've provided good results,
why would you not?
So easy. Even if you don't mention the client's name, if there's confidentiality issues or anything like that, it's so easy to say, this is what they wanted us to do, these are the results that we got. Like, how easy is it to put that on a social media post or on a website? So if there's no evidence, I'd be a bit wary.
Yeah, and I'd say the second key thing to focus on is a good cultural fit. So make sure, once you've done your research online, make sure you meet the agency and get to know them. Are they someone that you'd want to go down the pub with and have a drink? Are they the kind of team that you get on with? Do their values align with yours? And that's just down to kind of intuition, isn't it? Going to meet, but you kind of get a gist as to if someone's on
We might be shooting ourselves in the foot a bit there though, because you're an idiot.
Oh, thanse, mate.
So obviously people wouldn't want to...
Yeah. I'm the one that attracts them in, and then you normally repel them with your face.
Yeah. Oh, you went there. Yeah.
But yeah, good cultural fit. And the final one is kind of a tip, I guess. This is what some brands do with us who we're starting to work with. Have an initial trial campaign, which is a smaller scale campaign to test the water and see what results you get with them, rather than going all in with like a big boy campaign. Start with a little baby one.
Yeah, and again, I think there's no harm in asking to do this, and I don't see why an agency, if they genuinely wanted to work with you, why they would say no. It's the perfect opportunity for them to demonstrate that they can get good results with you. It's a no-brainer. Why wouldn't you do it as an agency or as someone that's looking for an agency? So, good tips, but when people are approaching an agency, when they're emailing or they're calling to inquire or they've met someone at a networking event that they might want to work with, what are the questions that they should be asking?
So I'd say prior to asking the questions, do as much research as you can with the information that's out there in the world. Their website, their social platforms, anywhere that you can find information about them, so that you're setting yourself up to know a bit about them before going and asking questions. But I guess the first key question I'd be asking is, how are you going to track and deliver return on investment with this campaign based on my objectives? I want to sell 100 new cars this month, or 1,000 new of these crap hoodies. How are you going to do that? And how are you going to track results, and how are you going to deliver those results? And I guess another thing I'd be asking is, what makes your agency stand out from the others? Because there's loads of agencies out there to work with, and they should have some good tangible responses to that to say, well, we do this, we do this, we do this, but also be careful to avoid the fluff. What?
Well, yeah, I was going to say the hard thing is, as agencies, we've won lots of awards.
Multi-award winning.
So almost every agency is a multi-award winning agency, delivering results for brands around the world. So I do think it's about asking those questions. Oh, what brands around the world?
At the end of the day, you pay for the value you get. So a smaller, or an independent person or marketing consultant or someone that's just starting out that's helping you, you'll be paying a lot less for that than a more experienced agency. And I guess it's weighing up what you're paying and the value, isn't it? Because you don't just want to shit on other agencies who are...
No, I'm just saying I'm saying to look out for the kind of exaggeration. So it might be that someone's worked with 5 companies in the past because they're relatively new and they work on their own. It's fine if they're honest with you and can say, I've worked with this person, this person, this person.
Yeah.
But if they say, I've worked with hundreds of companies around the world, and you ask them who they are and they can't tell you, that's what I'm saying.
What about when they're starting and they've never worked with anyone?
then they probably won't tell you that they've never worked with anyone, because that would be tough, wouldn't it? Yeah.
My long list of clients.
Yeah, there's loads of others. Yeah, Steve and Gary and Tim.
Gary!
A big worry for companies working with agencies. They've heard horror stories of, we signed this 12-month deal to work with this agency, and it was just a complete waste of money. So what can people do to completely avoid getting ripped off by agencies?
Asking the right questions, like I kind of focusing on the previous point. But I'd say the big one, again, I'm kind of repeating myself here. Couldn't think of the word. Repeating myself, which is evidence. Get as much evidence from that agency as possible, and the alarm bell you'd be looking for is if you ask for evidence and there isn't any. That's kind of something that I'd say be careful of. If they haven't got evidence to show, here's the results we achieved for someone else, and actually have some detail around that, not just saying, we sold 1,000 of these crap jumpers, it was really good in that. More, here's the campaign we ran to sell 1,000 of these crap jumpers that Lloyd's wearing, here's how it worked, here's how it was broken down, here's what they invested, here's the return they got, and more of those details. Yeah,
and I'd like to make a point.
Sorry,
I could have just made the point, but I'm announcing it before I make it.
Go on.
From the other side, I do think as well, looking for an agency, be realistic. If you're not willing to invest the money in a digital marketing agency or any kind of agency, don't expect the world in results. So don't expect to work with a business that's worked with huge brands all over the world and be paying them 50 quid. Because I think that's another thing. People sometimes think, I've failed because I paid this person and they didn't sell 300 of my cars. And you've got to think, okay, you want to sell 300 cars, you're going to have to be investing
a significant amount.
Yeah.
I think another, we kind of discussed this off camera, but another thing to look out for is when agencies don't have a really bad online presence themselves. And a lot of agencies will say, we don't have time, we're so busy and things. Fair enough. But even if they're really busy, if you looked at their website or their socials and it was really terrible or it really wasn't that great, that is an alarm bell that I understand if there's not a huge volume of we've even missed some weeks of content before because we're so popular and so in demand.
Yeah, there's always peaks in how busy you are, but I think, if there's no evidence of the company you're trying to pay being good at what they do, even with their own brand, you've got to be worried and questioning whether that's the right agency to work with.
And I think another kind of alarm bell to look out for is results that sound too good to be true with no evidence to back up how they could ever deliver those results. I think I look back at when we started out years ago, kind of not really understanding the value we could deliver and just plucking random numbers out of the air that we thought we could deliver, whereas now we've got evidence to back up what we can do. It's much more kind of real, not just saying we're going to sell 1 million of your...
Yeah, again, it's about asking questions, isn't it?
Yeah.
If I asked 2014 Dan, how are you going to sell 50 of those things?
Yeah.
You probably would have gone, I'm going to do really good businessy stuff. So, and then I might have thought, okay, maybe this isn't a good fit. Whereas now, how are you going to sell 50 shit jumpers, Dan?
Do really good businessy stuff.
Oh, nothing's changed.
Okay, on that note, Lloyd, we want to find out some more tips, don't we? We want to hear from you. What's your experience of working with an agency, good or bad? What tips do you have to other people that are choosing to work with an agency? Comment below, because we want to create a kind of resource for people.
Yeah, we want to hear your horror stories and hear what you've learned, and we also want to hear from people that are working with agencies that they absolutely love and how they found those agencies. So,
and also, if anyone's bought this crap hoodie, please let us know in the comments below. That would be really helpful.
Actually, not many people did buy it because I remember you posted me a link. You sent me a link to it a couple of weeks after I bought it, and it was like half the price I paid for it. So I think I'm the only one that owns this hoodie.
Comment below!